video. I'm whispering because I'm out in the courtyard and other people are studying, but I promised I would get you guys this freaking study tips video. Right now I need to do my notes for my lung expansion that we just went over in class. So I'm going to show you guys how I do those, and then I'm going to show you how I study them and what I do to highlight them and what colors, and just overall how I learn personally and what other study tips that I take from other classmates. But in the meantime, let's get into it. Hey RT besties, so this video will mainly be like voiceover just because I did want to show you guys exactly how I do my notes. And this is just a clip of me, writing out the title, whatever, yeah. The first thing I like to do is I like to look at my objectives. I like to look at what the instructors, professors, teachers, what they want us to know exactly, and how I should input that into my notes. Usually I like to go through and highlight them, but this PowerPoint wasn't that huge, big of a PowerPoint, so I just really looked at it and, kind of just moved on about my day. Of course, I like to title them, and then after I title them, I then go ahead and I just start, picking out what I want, what font I want it at, what text, you know what I mean, size, everything. That's when I start to pick those out, just because, I don't know, I am a particular person when it comes to doing my notes. It just helps me stay organized in that sense. But yeah. So I'm just gonna show you guys. It's gonna be a screen recording on my laptop, basically, is what I'm gonna put up here. But so usually I type in what I'm gonna do. I use Google Docs just because it's free. Yeah, I'm, like I said, broke college student. So I then go to my notes, say okay. I don't type them out in any specific font unless I really want to, unless I really feel like I have to. Other than that, it just stays the same pretty much. And then as I do this, what I do is I pull up my notes, I scroll to where we are, not where we are, but just where I haven't started yet. And in this case, I haven't started these notes at all, so we're going to start from the beginning. My teacher sends us, she puts in the PowerPoint, objectives and stuff like that, and I usually don't write those down just because you're eventually going to get the point as you're going through the notes. But if you need those, then definitely write those out, sign those out. What I like to start with is the title of the said PowerPoint that we're currently on. I don't like headers. I do not like headers, guys. Headers are my worst nightmare. Text color, ambiguity. Just want to show you what I do. I'm going to make it 14 for the text, and I'm going to actually change it to A because I'm going to be bougie today to Times New Roman, just because that's what I like. They're not asking us specifically to see our notes or anything here. They just want them done based on they ask us to do them, but it helps you learn, right? So then I typically type out what we're learning that day, conditions, and I start the bullet points basically, and I go through each PowerPoint, and as I'm going through each PowerPoint, I'm seeing how I can make it simplified to me, to my learning. So for instance, the sentence on this says, throughout normal tidal breathing, we take occasional deeper breaths, aka size yawns, as an attempt to maintain FRC, which is functional residual capacity. I can't talk right now, guys, but that's just what I do. So how I would shorten that down is normal tidal breathing normal sided breathing, occasional deeper breaths, aka sighs. That's how I would write that, me personally. And it's what that's called a sustained maximal inhalation. You want to get all those extra words out of there so that way when you're studying, you can just go bullet point, and get to the point, because it's just rough when you're trying to not get to the point. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just rough when you're putting all those words in, especially words you don't need. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. It's whatever. Here, I just wanted to show you guys like the little notes that I add while I'm doing this. See at the bottom of this PowerPoint right here, you can see I added on types can occur in combination, and basically what you'll see is you'll see me type it out, but you'll see me bold it, because to me that is something that the professor or instructor, teacher, they did not add to the PowerPoint, but they repeated. So it's something that we definitely want to add to our notes, because obviously it's something that they find very important. Continuing on, after this next clip, you guys will see me go ahead and start highlighting things. So here you basically just see me going in and highlighting what I need to know, or something that the teacher, professor, or instructor has constantly repeated, and it's obviously something that I need to know. But just going in and highlighting something that they've constantly repeated. Risk factors, obviously things to the disease process that I need to know with this particular PowerPoint. It was about diseases, I believe. Obviously, after showing my notes, I just wanted to show you guys what other ways that I study and like how I learn, basically. I know that I like to teach myself. So I know if I can write it down on like a whiteboard. Like if I get a whiteboard, I feel like this is why I have my tablet as well. If I can write it down and be able to still teach it back to somebody, like just from memory, not from looking for something else and then going back and teaching it. Like genuinely, I have to be able to teach it from my own brain and from my own writing for me to feel like I have it. And I feel like that's really helpful, at least for me. Like being able to teach back to somebody, like I'll literally ask my mom, my dad, any of my classmates, I'll be like, da 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 da, is this right? And they'll be like, yes, because at least my classmates, because then they know what I'm talking about. My mom and my dad, they'll be like, understandable, like that. Like I can understand that to some extent, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I like, is doing one, the teaching yourself. Now, another thing I like, there's a TED talk on this, I believe. It's called the pomodoro technique, where you study for 25 minutes straight and then you take a 5-minute break. And for me, it really, really helps. It really, really helps because I personally like that you can study, get up, walk around, take that break, and study again. And you're not like, I guess, like trying to force yourself to sit there for hours trying to learn material when you can do it in 25-minute increments. So that's another thing. It's called the Pomodoro technique. There's a TED talk on this. I might try to link it or something, but it's really good, like really cool. For me, of course, being in medical school, being a medical student, stay organized, like literally as best as you can. Know what your books are, know what you need from out of that book, know what chapter you need. I want to go pull one of my books right now, but I can't. But I'll fold like the chapters that I need in there, or the chapters that I need to read, that because I know I need it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I stay organized. The papers that I need to go along with that studying, I'll put that in that chapter. You know what I mean? Like it's very important. For me, I use all kinds of resources. we get sent home with books, papers, workbooks, notes, PowerPoints. I use every single last thing that I can to study. Like, may it be I use it for 5 minutes just to look through it, but I'm using it. You know what I mean? Like, expand what you're using to study, your resources to study. Because that's what I do. Try to challenge myself. Like, okay, if I stay here for an hour doing this, get yourself a treat. Get incentives for yourself. That's how I study. I know if I sit here and I'm like, oh, I have nothing to do, but I'll buy myself a little stuff. I'll buy myself a little Red Bull. I'll be like, after I finish this studying for an hour, 2 hours, I'm gonna open my Red Bull, or I'm gonna go get some candy. You know what I mean? Like, give yourself incentives, stuff to do after you're done. Because I feel like when you're done studying, you're just like, okay, unless you're taking your test right after, but even then, that's still very like, why? But another thing is to keep yourself from being distracted. You know what I mean? If you're one of those learners that are audio learners, put some earbuds in, turn on that audio that helps you learn, turn on that music that helps you stay focused. Something like that that keeps you away from distractions. Turn off your phone, anything. Hey RT Bestie, so as I'm actually doing the editing for this video, I realized I have lost all of my outro slash ending footage, so enjoy this little video of us doing an echo. And thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and bye bye RT Bestie, see you next time.